Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the OPI, the Nutcracker, and the Four Realms collection, which is their holiday collection for 2018. So there are 15 polishes here altogether. These came from polishpick.com, so I will link that website down below, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Dancing Keeps Me on My Toes, and this is a pearly white with little itty bitty tiny silver glitters in there. So this one is a bit sheer on the first coat. There are also quite a few brush strokes through that pearly shimmer. Those do go away a bit as it dries, and you can actually pick out those little silver glitters. Sometimes when elements like that are put into polishes like this, like pearly polishes, you can't always pick them out. You can see them in the bottle because they're stuck like right up against the glass, but once they're in the polish you can't see them very well. But so far I can pick them out pretty decently, and good formula on this as well. So this one does start to build up on the second coat. I can still see my nail line pretty well. And you can see that a lot of those brush strokes did go away as it dried, but there are still a few left, so you still want to try to be careful. This is one of those polishes where I can see my nail line really well from some angles and hardly at all from other angles. I'm still going to do a third coat just so it's even. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. Though I do feel like if you tilt your nail pretty sharply to one angle, you can still see a little bit of nail line. But I do think this third coat really brightens up that pearly white. So that is 3 coats of Dancing Keeps Me on My Toes. The next polish is Dreams Need Clara-fication, and this is it's like a baby blue, but it has the slightest little drop of purple in it that makes it lean a little bit periwinkle. I wouldn't say it's like full-blown periwinkle. So this one is a bit sheer, a little bit streaky on that first coat. A lot of those streaks are leveling themselves out as it settles, but there are still a few left. And good formula on this one as well. So this one is building up here on the second coat. I think it's going to be good. I'm just going to pull my hand away here and double check. Yes, this is covering completely for me in 2 coats, but I can see where if you do thinner coats, you might end up needing 3 just to cover up a few streaks. Because I do think even my 2 coats are very close to needing 3, just not quite there. So that is 2 coats of Dreams Need Clara-fication. The next polish is called Lavendare to Find Courage, and this is, I don't know, it's a pink to me with like a slight drop of purple. Maybe that technically qualifies as a lavender. So for being a lighter shade, this one is pretty opaque on the first coat, but does still have some streaks. A lot of those are leveling themselves out almost right away. And good formula on this one. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. I feel like it's less likely with this one than it was with the blue, but I can still see you needing 3 for streaks if you do really thin coats. And this does dry pretty shiny as well. So that is 2 coats of Lavendare to Find Courage. The next polish is called Tinker, Thinker, Winker, and this is it's actually a silver holographic, which is pretty exciting for me from a mainstream brand, even though I've seen this a million times. It's still exciting. This is not so much a solid linear holographic. You can see that it is very glittery. It's very, very sparse, but that's kind of the word I'm thinking of. It's a lot of little, almost micro glitter looking particles rather than like a liquid silver. Does that make any sense at all? Hopefully you can see what I mean on the first coat here. It's almost like a buildable holographic glitter without the grit of a glitter. So it is a bit sheer on that first coat. It does need to build up. I do think it's sparse enough that you could use it as a top coat as well. And good formula on this one. So you can see this is starting to build up on that second coat, but I can still see my nail line and a good amount of space between the little particles. So it is going to need 3, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this, but let's repeat myself. It is going to dry smooth also. It's not going to be gritty at all because it's not actually glitter. That's just the best way I could think of to describe the finish because I don't have my words today. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. I do feel like if you tilt your nails to a pretty extreme angle, you can pick out some nail line, but it's not really a big deal. You have to really try to find it. So that is 3 coats of Tinker, Thinker, Winker. The next polish is called Dazzling Dew Drop, and this is a kind of foily metallic gold. When I say foil, I mean it's not like a liquid chrome style gold. It has a little bit of sparkle to it. So this is a bit sheer on that first coat. Actually, it looks much more sheer to me in person than it does on camera, but I can still see a good amount of nail line. And since this is more of a foil style polish, you don't really have any brush strokes because all of those little shimmer particles break that up. And good formula on this one as well. So this one is covering pretty well on 2 coats. I'm going to double check just to make sure that it's opaque. Yes, we're good. This covers completely in 2 coats, and obviously it's going to make that gold a bit brighter as well because it's not sheer anymore. On that second coat with it a little bit brighter, I can see some brush strokes through there when it's wet, but those do go away when it dries. So that is 2 coats of Dazzling Dew Drop. The next polish is called Toying with Trouble, and this is a kind of medium pink cream. So this one is really opaque on that first coat. I can still see a bit of my nail line. I can see through it, but it is really, really even. No streaks really at all. And good formula on this one as well. That was a little bit too much polish on that brush. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. And this also dries pretty shiny, but obviously I'm going to recommend top coat anyway. So that is 2 coats of Toying with Trouble. The next polish is called Berry Fairy Fun, and this is a slightly reddy purple metallic. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. In the bottle, it looks like it has a pretty similar finish to that gold metallic, but on the nail it definitely comes off as a bit more shimmer, like a pinky purple shimmer and a jelly base. And a good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. And you can see that color deepens quite a bit on that second coat as well. And this one also dries pretty shiny. So that is 2 coats of Berry Fairy Fun. The next polish is called Envy the Adventure, and this is a nice green cream. This is the kind of shade of green that I think is going to get real ugly in the bottle real fast, because it is starting to see, and hopefully you can see it a little bit lighter and a little bit yellow there at the bottom. That doesn't affect, usually, I mean, I guess I can't speak for the future of this specific polish, but that usually doesn't affect how the polish goes on. It just makes the bottle look ugly. So greens like this tend to separate pretty easily. So this one is a little bit sheer on the first coat. It almost has a little tiny bit of a jelly-ish consistency. It's not super sheer, just a little bit. And a good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. And that second coat does deepen the color a little bit, but actually looking at the first coat, it still wasn't 100% opaque, but it was very, very close. And this one does dry pretty shiny as well. So that is 2 coats of Envy the Adventure. The next polish is your, I guess, classic Christmas collection red, and this is called Candied Kingdom. So this one is pretty opaque on that first coat. I am going to do 2 though. Can still see a little bit of nail line through it. And then I also think that second coat's going to deepen the color quite a bit. And good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, and you can see it does deepen the color quite a bit. And this polish dries very shiny. So that is 2 coats of Candied Kingdom. The next polish is called Ginger's Revenge, and this is a deeper red cream. And this one is also a little bit sheer on that first coat, and for sure is going to get a lot deeper. It's pretty even, it's just sheer. And really not even super sheer. You can just tell that it's not the right color, that it needs to deepen up a little bit. Good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. And you can see the color gets much deeper as well. I'm not the biggest fan of red polishes, but if I have to pick one, I like these deeper reds. So that is 2 coats of Ginger's Revenge. So the next polish is called Back to Reality, and this is one of those kind of like blackened bases with this red shimmer that runs throughout it. So this one is a little bit sheer on the first coat because that black base is more of a jelly base. And hopefully you can see that red shimmer kind of glows from underneath there. And good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2, and you can see that does deepen that base quite a bit, which I think, it's hard to tell in these lights, but I think it does make the shimmer stand out a little bit more. I do feel like this could be, the shimmer could be a little bit brighter, a little more obvious. I feel like the shimmer was a little too dark for the base. That's just me. It's a little too subtle for me. And this polish also dries just a little bit dull, so you will want top coat to make that shiny. So that is 2 coats of, oh, it's Black to Reality. Well, I said that wrong the first time. That is 2 coats of Black to Reality. The next polish is called Marchen Uniform, and it is this deeper navy blue shade. So this one is pretty opaque on the first coat. I'm going to thin this coat out a bit because there's way too much polish on my brush. And now you can see it's getting a little bit more sheer. It should build up fine in 2 though. Good formula on this one. I'm just going extra slow because I still want to film the China Glaze video today, and I don't want blue staining on my skin before I get to that. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, and that does deepen the color a bit as well. This is a pretty deep blue, but I don't think it's deep enough to be confused for black. I think it's pretty clearly blue in most lighting. So that is 2 coats of Marchen Uniform. The next polish is called Dreams on a Silver Platter, and this is the first of 3 glitters. This is a silver one, obviously. This has non-holographic, so just metallic silver glitter. Some very light, almost off-white, but slightly pink matte glitters. And there's also a very, very fine, like, gold flecks, like really, really tiny gold flecks that run throughout this as well. And I am layering this over Dreams Need Clarification. So this is one of those glitters that has slightly chunkier glitter in it, so you can swipe it on for the most part, but you might still end up wanting to do some like kind of dabbing motions with the brush just to even out where the glitters sit. And I do really like the addition of those little fine gold flecks in there. They're really hard to pick out, but they do help kind of fill in the space between the glitters. And this is a glitter, so it is going to dry textured. You're going to need a top coat to smooth it out, and you are going to have to scrub it off if you choose not to use a peel-off base coat. So that is 1 coat of Dreams on a Silver Platter. The next polish is called Gold Key to the Kingdom, and this is the gold metallic glitter with, again, that slightly off-white, just a little bit pink matte glitter in there, and those little tiny gold flecks. And I'm layering this one over Lavendare to Find Courage. So this one has just about the same formula as the last one. You can swipe it on, but it does take a little bit of moving glitter around for it to distribute evenly. I think that's pretty normal for glitter this size. And again, those little flecks that are in there do help fill in the space quite a bit. And these glitters are not thick at all either. They go on really smooth. So that is 1 coat of Gold Key to the Kingdom. And the last of the glitters and the last polish is called I Pull the Strings. This is, I don't know, I would call it more of like the rose gold polish. It has that gold metallic glitter. It has matte pink glitters that are very, very light pink, but they're definitely more pink than the slightly off-white ones that were in the previous polishes. And then the little tiny flakes are like a rose gold shade as well. And I am layering this over Marchen Uniform. Here is 1 coat. You should be able to see those flakes in the picture, hopefully. They stand out really nicely against this blue, but I'm not sure if the camera's picking them up. It's hard to tell in the viewfinder. This has the same formula as the other glitters. You can swipe it on for the most part and then just do a little bit of strategic placement to even everything out. So that is 1 coat of I Pull the Strings. So I have to say that I do really, really like this as a holiday collection in general, just because it's not red, 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 red. I really, really like that there is a holographic in here. I know it's a silver holographic and everybody has at least one of these and nobody needs any more, but it's still exciting to see, and I've said this all year, and eventually it's going to become not exciting anymore, but it's still exciting for me to see a mainstream brand doing holographic polishes. My favorite is going to be Dreams Need Clarification, because this is just a really pretty shade of blue, and I think like when I just looked up the Nutcracker movie to get the release date, and the colors in this collection match like the promo poster for the movie so well, and this is like one of the bigger colors in the poster, and I think it's a good match. I like it. Also, honorable mention to these 3 glitters, because OPI has not done a chunky glitter in a holiday collection. Did they do one last year? I don't know. I just feel like for a couple years they had the biggest like failures of glitters ever in holiday collections. There was like the weird eyebrow shaped glitter, and then it might have been the same year they tried to do those like frosty metallic bases with glitter in them that were just like a disaster. So even though these aren't like the most eye-catching, like blow your mind glitter mixes ever, I still like appreciate that they tried again and they didn't do anything weird. So that is the OPI Nutcracker and the Four Realms collection for holiday 2018. Again, this came from polishedpick.com, so I will link that website down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.